Hello again, and here we are for the last part of my ranking series before the big video. Today's video is kind of like a little bonus thing, a nice little deviation from the other Ether maps, because today we will be talking about and ranking the 4 Chaos Zombies maps from Black Ops 4. Yes sir, the Chaos maps are a different story altogether, a story that I could give two shits about, so instead of going over it, we're going to talk about what it's like to actually play and record on Black Ops 4. The HUD in this game is ridiculous. There's so many things going on screen. Like, I didn't even mention that there are potions you can customize that grant you abilities and stuff, not unlike the Gobblegums. But I've never used them, simply because there's so much shit on the screen already that I miss that they are even there in the first place. It's not like a one-button thing like in Black Ops 3. No, there's like 3 or 4 of them. It doesn't feel organic to the gameplay. Know what I mean? Also, your tactical in this game does not exist. You have no tactical. No flashbang, no EMP, nothing. Instead, it's their special ability, your ultimate attack, if you will, which you can pick from a few. On paper, this is really stupid, and it is, but I cannot complain, for I've used it to bail myself out of a few sticky situations, especially with bosses, and I'm not proud to admit that. But that means you can only use grenades. If you have special throwables, like in Blood of the Dead, it negates your grenades, and you can only throw the Hell's Retriever. Like, no frag grenades or anything, you can only throw the Hell's Retriever. Lastly, and here's the weird part, which shows how unoptimized this game is. When I've recorded footage for the previous games, my FPS was around 100, 144, including in Black Ops 3. But OBS records it at 60. No issue there. But here, I have to manually limit my frame rate to 60 in-game, because if I don't, my GPU can't run the high FPS and record the normal 60 FPS, which makes the footage look like this. It's ugh. Again, Black Ops 3 is a better looking and functional game, well optimized, I'd say. Then why is Black Ops 4 like this? It does not have the same visual integrity, yet it requires more GPU power? Where is that power going? And to top it all off, when I recorded footage from the beta of Cold War, like a year or so ago, a very unoptimized game, mind you, I had no issues. And I can see you typing away on how my PC isn't good enough to record on Black Ops 4. And for your information, my GPU uses an RTX 2080 Ti, and my CPU is a R7 5800X. But all that being said, I admit this game is still very fun. When I played this after recording the footage, I played it at an uncapped frame rate with a higher resolution than 1080p, and man, this game is smooth, like Santana smooth, you know what I mean? Like, it was pleasing to look at while you're playing. And the recoil in Black Ops 4 is unique versus any other Call of Duty because they use what is called predictive recoil or something. The same thing they use in CSGO. But if you play this game with a mouse, the gunplay is much more satisfying than with a controller. That's all I have to say about the gameplay, though. The Chaos story, for as little as I know, follows this woman named Scarlet in the early 1910s. In fact, I think it's just in 1912. And she's looking for her dad, who went crazy looking for ancient artifacts. She's accompanied by her dad's 3 associates, a suave Mexican guy named Diego, a big-ass buff French guy named Bruno, and this weasel-looking British guy named Shaw. I don't care much about them, you don't care about them, but I will admit, she kinda bad though, not gonna lie. The Chaos offerings are as follows: Voyage of Despair, 9, Dead of the Night, and Ancient Evil. So let's dig into Black Ops 4 Zombies one last time. In last place, we have Voyage of Despair. It is ironic that the first map is the first map being discussed. Our crew are on a ship when an artifact turns everyone into zombies. And this isn't any ordinary ship. No, sir. This is the Titanic. Hell, when the level starts is when the ship scrapes the iceberg, so you know you're in trouble. Obviously, there's something really weird about making a zombies map based on an event where more than 1,500 people died. But worry not, for I will elaborate upon my thoughts on that at the end of the video. How does this map play? Honestly, it plays the worst out of the 4. Probably the worst out of all the Black Ops 4 maps, hence last place. I don't hate it as much as I hate Zetsubo no Shima. I don't hate it at all, to be honest. It's just that the layout has a bunch of narrow spots and awkward parts. When you base a map off a real-life location, or ship, I guess, you limit yourself in the design and layout, because there's a real-world reference that you must adhere to. This map is gorgeous, though. And there are some rooms that are near identical to the James Cameron movie, even though I'm sure if the people at Honor and Glory saw this, they'd find a book's worth of inaccuracies. Oh yeah, there's no power to this or any of these chaos maps. You have to instead activate the Sentinel artifact, which just unlocks all the areas locked in red. It's different enough, I say. To pack a punch, you have to activate 3 or 4 areas in the map, and then you get it. You get the pack a punch. Strangely simple, but I think this map was meant to be the tutorial for the game mode. There are teleportation portals in this map, which I find a little unnecessary because the map isn't that big. But it's okay. Like I said, I have more to say about the implications of this map at the end of the video, but for now, this map just isn't that good. Next up in our ranking, we have Dead of the Night, the least marketed zombies map ever, I think. It just appeared out of nowhere. No ads, no trailers, nothing. In this one, you play as different characters in a mansion. A haunted house, if you will.
Boom! Haunted house.
You have Jack Bauer.
Does anyone there know I made a duty?
Tywin Lannister.
You're not on trial for being a dwarf.
Bellatrix Lestrange.
I haven't been fucked like that since grade school.
And Boss Nass.
Are you retarded?
They were meant to meet Scarlett's dad at his mansion, but he's nowhere to be found. Instead, we have a zombies outbreak, and yada yada yada. It's the same song as every other map. Here's the thing. I kind of like this map. I think the premise is pretty fun, actually. We are in a big, old-ass mansion with lots of fun rooms, and we have more than just zombies this time around. We have vampires, Nosferatus, and werewolves. A more classic horror map than before. In fact, I think the Chaos maps should have just done this. Experiment more with the gameplay, the enemy types, and the scenarios. Let the Ether maps focus on the story, because who gives a fuck about the story in the Chaos maps? No one. I'll bet not even the great Lex himself gives a shit. That Cthulhu nonsense from Shadows of Evil in Black Ops 3? Bring that here instead. I think concept alone is what I dig about this map, but I'm not too hot on the layout, to be honest. And the pack-a-punch process is also annoying. You fill up these crystal things in like 3 rooms, and you get an image of an item at somewhere in the house that you have to go somewhere and do something at. Sure, I could have explained that better, but where each item is, you either have to have an encyclopedic knowledge of the map or watch Mr. Waffle Waffles for the information. Maybe I just need to play this map more to fix that issue, but I don't know. I feel like this map actually had potential. The non-existent marketing was very sus to me. Like, why wouldn't they have a map trailer? Was this when the budget for zombies was drawing up? Who knows? I mean, this map is fun, but flawed. Our penultimate map in this ranking is Ancient Evil. This map is pretty cool. The premise is that our 4 characters find the ancient city place thing that they set out to find in the first place. It's all underground, not unlike Buried, and the place is laid out like a city, more so than in Gorod Krovi. It being underground adds a veil of eeriness, like this place was lost to history, maybe for a reason, and it's not meant to be unearthed. The pack-a-punch process is actually quite fun. You activate the Sentinel artifact in the auditorium-looking place, fight off some spooky, scary bony boys, and then Pegasus comes in and saves you. Once you find that golden saddle thing, you can ride that motherfucker to the cliff area place and free 2 other winged beasts with your special, and now you have Pack-a-Punch unlocked. Not annoying, quick to the point, easy peasy. My only flaw with this map, and I don't even know if it's a flaw, it's just that I don't really care about this map, Ancient Evil. I know that's an anticlimactic, boring-ass reason to have, but I don't know, nothing on this map really sticks out to me. I guess I could say about the rest of the Chaos maps, but I don't know, it's well laid out, it looks cool enough. I suppose it's the opposite problem I have with Dead of the Night. An interesting concept with ass mechanics, or a decent-ish concept with good mechanics. I observed that Ancient Evil is better objectively, and I did have more fun playing it, but it's not a map I'm really passionate about, you know? And capping it off, surprising no one, the best map of all of the Black Ops 4 Chaos offerings is 9. I would argue that 9 is the best map from Black Ops 4 overall. It's totally original, so it beats out the Ether maps, and has one of the best layouts in the whole franchise. 9 is when our 4 characters go to a place they learned about on the Titanic, and they all get transported to the past during the Gladiator stuff, which this map is just the arena of, and all the connected rooms and buildings and so on. You start off smack dab in the middle of the arena, and if you go to the pedestal, You can accept challenges and be rewarded with power-ups and weapons. Hell, the third or so challenge rewards you with a pack-a-punched pistol. I would only recommend to not play with bots if you're trying to do the challenges. Because the bots, they don't care if it's knife only or grenades only. They don't care. They'll just slow you down. Each perk has a room dedicated to it that matches the god on the machine. And what that means is, for the Chaos maps, instead of having Perca-Cola machines, like in the Ether maps, they're like tablets that you get from these statues of these ancient gods. And in this map, there's an Egyptian room for the Ra perk, a Celtic or Celtic. How do you say, hold on, is it Celtic or Celtic? Comment below, let me know. For Danu, a Greek room for Zeus, and a Norse-themed room for our boy Odin. Each of those rooms has a challenger for you to kill, and after you smite them, you get their decapitated head. You bring all 4 heads to the Pack-a-Punch room and stick them on some pikes. The blood of the heads activates the Pack-a-Punch. I know Voyage of Despair was meant to be the tutorial map, but 9 is so simple and intuitive that I believe people should play this one first. Even finding the parts to the Brazen Bull is easy enough and to the point. The challenges also encourage you to do different things and change up your playstyle. I could gush on forever, but I do believe 9 is possibly a top 10 map. I guess we'll see in the next video. So, the Chaos maps are a nice little bonus treat to the Treyarch Zombies maps. While I may not prefer them to the regular Ether maps, I still come back to them from time to time for a little bit of fun. The leveling up system is a big part of that, admittedly. But Black Ops 4, for what it is fine and fun, but it did not reach its potential. Like I said before, this game represents a dark point in COD history. And even now, the only reason to buy this game in the year of our Lord, 2023, is to play zombies, because no one is playing the multiplayer, at least no one on PC. And there's no campaign, so is it really worth the $110 to play all the game's content, aka these 8 zombies maps? Definitely no. But if Black Ops 4 is ever on sale, and it is quite often, give it a shot. There is some good fun to be had here. It plays well, and even though it's not the most optimized game in the world, it's still buttery smooth. But that's it. I have ranked all the maps per each zombies game. Now comes the time for me to rank them all in one video. God, that's going to be hard. I will try to refrain from notes and have it all come from my heart. But that concludes today's ranking. If that's all you came to watch today, then I hope you have a good day.
Bye, have a beautiful time.
But if you're willing to hear me ramble about nonsense that I mentioned in the Voyage of Despair map, please stick around. Alrighty, let's get into this. Logical, rational Mike has left the building. Rambling weirdo Mike is here, baby! So, let's talk about Voyage of Despair. The map was based off of the sinking of the Titanic, which happened on April 14th, 1912, more than 110 years ago. The map starts off with the boat scraping the iceberg, the initial incident that led to the sinking that killed over 1,500 people. And this was made way before the whole OceanGate thing, so let's not worry about that. Now, in Black Ops 3, they made a map, like I mentioned before, from an alternate universe version of the Battle of Stalingrad, the largest battle ever fought by man. The alternate universe thing kind of separates it from the real deal, and while way more civilians died there, this sinking killed only civilians. It was a disaster. So I guess my question to you, the viewer, is can a real-life event be used for the basis of a zombies map? There is no right or wrong answer. I don't even know. Something I was thinking about. Like I said, this ship sank more than 110 years ago. Anyone alive at the time is dead, so no one could be actually offended by this. And before you say, bruh, it's okay, only rich people died in that ship. 1, the hell's wrong with you? And 2, no, they did not. Yes, while many rich men died from the first class, the majority of the victims were poor, or immigrants, or people just working on the ship. So, take that, fucker. But I guess one could argue that having the events of World War II being the basis for zombies is the same thing. I mean, the idea of the Nazis doing experiments for wonder weapons was based in reality. I would encourage you all to look up Die Glock. Even the Tunguska event and the Roswell incident were used for the story. Historical fiction, right? The thing that stuck out to me about this map was that it was based on an event that is solely known for innocent people dying. But just because it stuck out to me doesn't mean I'm offended, like, oh, this is in such bad taste. Oh, I feel so uncomfortable that they did this. Wah, wah, wah. Nah, I'm not like that. Like, you really have to do something disturbing to get to me. I just find this topic fascinating. Me being a history nerd doesn't help. So what other disasters or calamities would you be okay with as a zombies map? Chernobyl? That'd be a nutty one. I guess any war from history is a gold mine of potential. But what about a recent war that is still affecting people today? A Middle Eastern or Ukrainian map? I guess Chernobyl already has the Ukraine part covered. What about places like Bosnia or Rwanda from the 90s? Or Poland in the 1940s? See where I'm going with this? Hell, maybe in 2101, if Activision is still kicking, maybe we'll even get a map that takes place in Ground Zero. That sounds pretty horrible, right? Now, imagine going back in time to the 1990s or 80s and telling Melvina Dean, the last Titanic survivor, hey, in 2018, there's going to be a video game where you shoot and kill zombies on the exact ship in the night that your father died. Crazy stuff, right? Crazy, horrible, possibly in bad taste. But, god damn it, such things pique my interest so. It's also possible that the boys and girls at Treyarch were like, you know what would be wild of a zombies map setting? The sinking of the Titanic. How fucking wild would that be, bro? So all this rambling might be for nothing. Or maybe it's not. Who knows? Okay, that's all the time I've got. I gotta get back to playing LEGO Indiana Jones, the original adventures, on Xbox Series X. Thank you so much for making it this far. I will be seeing you in the final ranking video. Until then, see ya!